Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be doing lesson 19. We're skipping 18. Maybe we will come back to that, but 18 was a lot of what we had already been working on, so we're just going to move right along to lesson 19 and substituting. So first we have this opening exercise, and so you should already be with your partners right now. So I want you to take a look at this table and answer these questions. For these questions, it says, my older sister is 2 years older than I am. Sharing a birthday is both fun and annoying. Every year on our birthday, we have a party, which is fun, but she always brags that she's 2 years older than I am, which is annoying. This person sounds like they are annoyed. So we have this nice little table here with the person's age and their sister's age. And so check this out real quickly. Do these questions with your partner, and you can pause the video for a minute and work on those things, and then once you are finished with those first 6, then unpause the video and watch the rest. Okay, so you should have paused the video by now, and if you didn't, then pause it right now. Pause it, come back. Okay, we should be all done, and you should have the first 6 things completed from this opening exercise so far. So it says, looking at the table, what patterns do you see? And so you should have said with your partner that it looks like it has my age, my sister's age, and it obviously set it up here, so you should be noticing this is always plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. Now, if you just look at the, let's say if we just look at this example right here, you might think that the pattern is that it's, this age times 2, because 2 times 2 is 4, and it's doubled. But you should know, 0 times 2 is not 2, 1 times 2 is not 3. So you need to be careful when you are figuring out what the pattern is, that it actually works for everything in both sets of the columns, not just for one little pair. So, looking at the table, we see that it's adding 2 every time. On the day I turned 8 years old, how old is my sister? And so we should be thinking, it looks like, and it says that she is 2 years older. So if we are 8, then my sister is 10. I don't have my fancy stylus, so my handwriting will be very bad. Now it says, how do you know? Well, because, see if I can just type this one out. Because her age is always 2 years greater. We'll fit that in there. Because her age is always 2 years greater. Number 4 says, on the day I turned 16 years old, how old was my sister? And so this will be, she's 18. She is 18. How do we know? Because 16 plus 2 equals 18. And do we need to extend the table to calculate these answers? And we should be thinking, no, oops, didn't realize I would do that. And, no, we don't need to. No, we can just add 2. We could just add 2 years to whatever our age is. Okay, let's move on. Actually, writing these as equations. So this example 1 says that it looks like it's the same table. So we have, my age, my sister's age, 0 plus 2, and it still looks like 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 2 is 4. It still definitely looks like our sister is 2 years older. So A says, what if you don't know how old I am? Let's use a variable for my age. Excuse me. Let y indicate my age in years. Can you develop an expression to describe how old my sister is? So this says, let y equal my age in years. So my age in years equals y equals y. Now one thing I'm actually going to do here is equals y. I'm actually going to write that lowercase. And why am I making that lowercase when over here it's uppercase? And so I'll write that off to the side real quick. Side note. The reason is because a lot of times we actually use uppercase things, and I've said this before, but if you think about the, let's say, area, area equals length times width, or a formula like volume for a three-dimensional thing. Volume equals length times width times the height. So you notice that with these types of formulas, you end up with these lowercase variables, and this L obviously stands for the length, and this stands for the width, and these numbers will change, but this A is actually standing for the word area or the thing area, and it's the same with this. V actually stands for volume, the word, or what volume is, and these lowercase are the variables that would change depending on how big that thing is that you're trying to find the actual volume of. So usually capital letters are used for something that actually means something. So since this is capital, we're actually going to change it to lowercase, because y doesn't actually mean something necessarily. It could be different. So let's go back over here. And so it says y equals my age. Can we write an expression to describe how old our sister is? And so if we know that y is our age, and we know that our sister's age is 2 years greater, we want to think, how can I write an expression that is 2 more than our age, which is y? Well, 2 more than y would just be y plus 2. So, and that was similar to the example before where it said, if you are, I think it said if you're 8, if it said if we're 16, if you're 16, how old is your sister? Well, your sister is going to be 16 plus 2, and then I said it was equal to 18. So, easy enough. And so please add that to the last row of your table. So we did that. We put a y in for us, and then we wrote an expression with y standing for our age. So this stands for our age plus the 2 years that our sister is older than us. Now the second example. This one is kind of going backwards. So this one would be, maybe we know our sister's age, but we don't know our age. So this first question is saying, how old was I when my sister was 6 years old? Well, we already know that if our sister is 2 years older than us, then if she was 6 years old, then we would be 4. So we would be 4 years old. 4 years old. Okay, how old was I when my sister was 15 years old? Okay, well, we know that it is 15, and then we're 2 years younger. So 15 minus 2 would be 13, so we are 13 years old. Easy enough. And we know this because we are 2 years younger. So we're 2 years younger. You can think of it the other way too. She's just not 2 years older. That also means that we're 2 years younger, which is common sense. So, let's go to the next. So it says, look at the table in example 2. So I can't go back and forth between all those things. So you're going to look at that table that we skipped on that has the 2 bottom things still left blank. And so look at that table and it says, if you know my sister's age, can you determine my age? And yes, we can, because yes, we can just, yes, and I actually said it earlier when I said, she's 15, how do we figure out we're 13? Well, we just subtracted 2. So we can subtract we could subtract 2. So if we use the variable g, and I'm actually going to get rid of this g, and we're going to use a lowercase g. If we use the variable g for my sister's age in years, what expression would describe my age in years? So our age would be, obviously our sister's age is g, and we have to take 2 away. So this would be g, our sister's age, minus 2 is the expression that we would use, because that is sister's age minus 2. And so fill in the last row with the tables of expressions. So in our little table that we had, on, you can't see it on here, but on our little table, and all the top is filled out, down here we should have g, and then over here we should have g minus 2 for that table on the previous page that started example 2. And then with a partner, it says calculate how old I was when my sister was 22, 23, and 24 years old. So pause it, take a second, figure it out, and then unpause it for the answer. Ready, pause. Okay, so what you should have had is your sister's 22, so that would be, if I'm looking at this expression right here, that would be 22 minus 2. So 22 minus 2 would be 20. And then for 23, it would be 23 minus 2, so 21. And for 24, it should be 24 minus 2, 22. So we're just taking her ages right here, 22, 23, 24, and all these different ages, and we're just substituting 22 in for g, substituting 23 in for g, because that stands for the age. Alright, that's it for the examples. Go ahead and work on those exercises with your partner, and then there is another video with all the exercises completed, so you can check it when you're done.